Right, hello. Sorry, a little bit late start today. Well, it's earlier than my normal streaming times, but later than I had scheduled. I think I'm all ready now. So, how did we get on yesterday? Let's swap over to this screen. Mostly... Right, I just need to turn my music down a little bit. It's a bit loud for me. So, we were looking at our lobby setup and how we're going to start handling the UI for our play. And then we went into doing some game design, basically. And this was, I think, most of yesterday. Hey Zimni, I'm good. How are you? Hope you're having a good week. So we started going into here to do some game design. I think we've got to continue on a bit here with this architecture. I think I might also need to look into still working for a few hours. All right. Hope it's not too stressful today. Have the Domekeeper runs been going? Saw some minor mode runs you were doing. Is it yesterday or the day before, maybe? So, just preparing some data for people to work with. Ah. So yeah, this is kind of... Yesterday's runs were terrible RNG. Oh no. Alright, let's let's shuffle music. I'm clearly not fully awake just yet. I'm definitely gonna have to do the dailies in a bit. So yeah, we're starting to look into this architecture design. I think there's still quite a lot more to do here. I'm wondering as well if there's a way that we could connect... Oh. Why is that gone like that? There we go, that's fine. Connect players through a relay server rather than having a server that's doing the calculations. Because the main thing with I think the main reason we might need an authoritative server is that if the players don't know where each other's units are because of like fog and war, yeah, it's gonna be a tricky little starting project. But yeah, I'm planning to do 1v1 multiplayer. So rather than doing like level design and stuff like that, it's going to be more about figuring out ways of playing the game and tactics against each other. So yeah, not a simple thing, but I think most of the games I want to make in future will need multiplayer involved in it. And as multiplayer goes, this is probably like one of the simpler games I could do. Because it's turn-based, I don't have to worry about latency. And because it's basically just moves on a board, the messages being sent between players and server should just be very simple strings of information. There's no like complex 3D calculations or hitboxes to render in real time or anything like that. So I think it's a good starting project to try out multiplayer. But yeah, it could be pretty tricky. I think the most confusing thing is if I'm going to do fog of war, so you won't be able to see your opponent's players unless you have like line of sight to them, or like maybe units have like a certain range of vision. Then that means that on each of the clients, they're not going to be able to have the full set of data, because otherwise you could cheat. So I think I need a service to be able to determine the actual state of the board. The other route that I was kind of thinking about was like, if you could do some way of like encoding the data as it's sent, so that then you can verify at the end of the game all the moves were valid, but during the game you wouldn't be able to determine Factorio Space Age, is it an expansion or is it like a follow-up, a sequel? Because I saw you were doing, or maybe even a mod, because I saw you doing a lot of the is it Pyrodon mod? One of my old uni mates who is really into gaming has tried to get me onto Factorio so many times, and I'm like, I love the idea of it, but I think if I started playing, I just wouldn't be able to do anything else. So I've actively tried to avoid Factorio. Panadon. So that's an official DLC, but oh god, basically a full game. Yeah, sleep schedule is already like something that isn't the most consistent. I think if I started doing a game like Factorio, I'd be so screwed. So yeah, I wonder if there's a way to encode the data in a way that we could verify it's a valid move, but not know the specific move. No, I think the easiest way is to have a server and have the server keep track of the unit locations and the map states. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. I think it's mostly going to be like rectangular shapes, but I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue going forward. Like, worst case scenario is, let's say it isn't a rectangular shape, I would have to make sure that it's a symmetrical shape in some way, because if it's two players on opposite sides of the board, I want to have it so that both sides have an equal setup. But any cells that are blocked due to like obstacles or even just like the edge of the map, we can just have a status that says this cell is a blocked cell, so the units can't move through it, and potentially that could be used for blocking attacks as well. So I think that's less of an issue, especially because the way that we're currently looking at map state is having an array. So even if it's not a square shape, let's say you like cut off these corners, the status, the map status would still be square, and then we'd just fill in the corners with these cells are out of use. I think that's the easiest way to do it. because then it also keeps it super simple. We'd only have to care about a 2D array at any point. And yeah, I think in terms of the game data, like sending and receiving information from the server is pretty much going to be very simple messages. We're going to use a lobby to set up the intended game settings and have a matchmaking server. This is maybe to do some skill-based matchmaking, but maybe not. This might just match you with a random player. Depends how difficult matchmaking is going to be. But once the server knows what the lobby is going to be, it'll make a room, and then it can make its own map. It doesn't need to transfer map data to the player, because the player will be able to make their own map as well. And then they're going to send they're going to send the unit locations up to the server. Yeah, I was thinking something along those lines. One issue I've got with that is I don't know. I feel like we're going to have a lot of unique game settings you could do. So in different game modes, well, I guess you just have different ELO ratings for each player, specifically in the game mode. That might be a way to do it. Because ELO has like a very specific way of rating, I think, which would make it a lot easier to code as well. Let's have a quick look. Oh yeah, and I started looking into not this is game architecture. I was looking at Git for desktop, GitHub desktop, which is what I think we're going to use. Yeah, okay, so they do, so for like Blitz chess, you'd have an ELO for that that's separate from, does your separate rating get affected by other ratings, or are they completely separate? Because I know that in games like Dead by Daylight, you have like a different matchmaking rank for each of the killers because they play differently. But if you've never played a killer before, but you've played another killer for like 1,000 hours and are really good, they'll slightly lift the overall ratings for all of the killers, because you're still understanding game mechanics and stuff like that. You just might not know the specifics of that killer. So they're kind of tied a little bit together, completely separate. I guess it steadies out fairly quickly. I mean, we'll have to try it. That's the whole point of this being a prototype, is we'll try these different versions and see what works best. So yeah, I think today we're going to try and flesh out a bit more of this down here, which is like the player, all the client side stuff. I think most of this game room stuff is good. The gaining point when you're starting playing is super fast if you're winning a lot. Okay, so it can I guess if it's like a new game mode, there might be, yeah, we could do different weightings so that the ratings change a lot quicker. But ELO systems are like closed score systems, aren't they? How does ELO work? Yeah, it's a zero-sum game. So there should be a formula somewhere, yeah? Yeah, I might have to have a look through this in a bit more detail. This would definitely make more sense to use. But yeah, the main thing is I wouldn't be able to say, let's say I brought in a new game mode. The points you gain lost is tied to the difference in score between you and your opponent. So if you play with stronger players, you gain a lot for winning and lose a little. And the opposite is true when you play weaker players. Ah, right, okay. So yeah, it is kind of zero sum though, isn't it? I thought. But that's tied into the rating as well. Yeah. No, I like that idea. That using this for ratings will be a lot easier. You just need to start understanding the maths for it. Let's put a note here. Use ELO for rankings. Cool, okay. Yeah, I think there's a simple implementation. Simple implementation. Oh wait, let me just move this off. I know that Medium likes to dox you. Okay, no pop-up today. Sorry. Just having a quick read through. Yeah, okay. But I think that's a little bit further down the line. I'm going to leave that tab open. As something to consider. Right. So, our lobby manager is going to send base information up to the server. The server is going to make a game room for that set of settings and can broadcast out for a player 2 to join that room. The person who's made the lobby will get given the game room information and wait for a player to be matched against. And then once both players are in the room, actually as soon as a player joins a room, the players can start setting up their pieces. So the unit deployment can occur straight away for the person setting up the lobby. But the person joining the game might need a bit more time to confirm. Once the player has deployed all their pieces, they send the location of those pieces up to the server, which can verify that the pieces are deployed on correct parts of the board that the player is allowed to use. And then when both players have deployed all their pieces, we get a message that comes back down to say who's playing first, whose go is it first. Actually, that's it. The server just needs to say to the relevant player, it's your turn to play. And also, we could actually make games start faster by having the person that creates the game always go first. So they set up the lobby. As the server is looking for a player to play against, they're deploying their units. And while they're waiting for the match player, or maybe whichever player sends in their deployment positions first gets to go first. Because you can make your first move without really knowing where the enemy units are going to be placed. As long as player 2 doesn't find out what your move is, so it would affect their deployment positioning. But we can keep we can keep the deployment positioning and the player moves secret by encoding the messages that are sent between the server and the player. I think these need to be encrypted either way. It'd just be safer to do encryption on it. It prevents some tampering and hopefully prevents some cheating going on. Okay. I think this is getting closer to being a fully fledged design. I think to work out the full flow of data and stuff like that could be a good idea. So have a list of how the game works in terms of messages being sent from a client to the server. But also some of that information is going to going to change as we develop, but having a good starting point is probably worthwhile doing. Probably worth doing that design. Okay, let's do some dailies. And try and wake ourselves up a little bit more. So, starting with hashtag Wordle in 4 ways. We've got 4 5-letter words on this grid. We have all of the letters shown to us, but we just need to swap letters to put them into the right positions. Green is correct position already. Yellow is an indication that the letter is in that word somewhere. So same as Wordle. And then obviously where you've got a crossing of words, you can't guarantee, for example, this L could be in the vertical or in the horizontal word there. I think that covers all the rules. Normally worth figuring out what words you're trying to aim for, because you're limited on the number of moves. And it's normally useful to check out how many vowels you have, because most 5-letter words have a vowel. And if you're limited on them, like we are here, we've only got 4 vowels. And at the moment, there's no vowels in this vertical. So either this E needs to move into this position, and we end ER here, or this A needs to move into this vertical word somewhere. It's most likely that we're going to be swapping the E and the R, I think. This L position is a bit unusual. So the fact that this is yellow, but this one is grey. It either means this word has 1 L, which is in the 1st, 4th or 5th position, or this L, actually no, it doesn't really help us. If these were the other way around, if there was an L here first that was grey, and this is an L that's yellow, then we would know this L has to be in the horizontal word. Lots of R's. I think I'm going to work on the assumption that we swap this R and E around. So something A, something RE. Got lots of M's. Could do mapper. Lamer. Probably an M here. What else we got here? Famer is not a word. Can we use the W? Something A-W-E-R. These 2 R's are good. We know that they're not shared because the O is not. Because this O is green. So that means one of these R's is in the vertical and one of them's has to be in the horizontal. So this word can have a maximum of 1 R. So we couldn't do like rarer. It's probably lamer, I think. I can't think of any other words that fit with this. So does this D go in the center of this word or at the end of this word is the question. And this N could go in one of these 2 positions here. Maybe. So something O. Maybe D. Something O, D, something R. Maybe put an R at the end here. Right, I think we're going to swap these two. That looks like it should work. Yeah. And I think this is going to be an R, but because M's not in this word horizontally, I think if we do a swap like this, we get more information. Yeah, good. So this is probably going to be molar, like your tooth. I think this is going to be the D. We'll swap the M and the D here. So that N is going to go... No. Fuller? La... No. Moola? Moola? No. Mora? I don't think we can use the W in this. Where's the W going? Law, no. Can the W go in this horizontal word? And maybe the L is in this vertical, but it's just not in that position. So what are we saying? L-A-M. So the N is coming in this word. What have we got left in this word? Tricky. I think this has to happen. So no, okay. So the M is in one of the verticals. No. And the D is as well. Modal? This could be modal. So should we swap an A into here? And that'll give us a bit more information about the L location. Okay, so this L has to be in this horizontal. This has to be modal, right? Modal, yeah. So this is probably polar. Which leaves what? Which leaves W for this word. Okay, let's do those. We know that that's... We don't know that that's right. God, we're having a lot of mistakes here. Can this be wader? So what's this? Moral. It's gotta be moral. I think this has gotta be wader. Which leaves what? A D, an N, and an F in this. No, F can't be in that though. That can't be muffle. So the F has to be in this. wafer. It's wafer. Of course. Right, so we've got 5 moves. We could probably just power through it now, but there might need to worry about how many swaps we've got left. So W there, F and M, then the D and the R, and what does that leave us with? N something, D something, M. So that's probably named. So then we just put the M and the D. That's fine. Oof. Not too bad. Okay, then we take this into Betweenle. Betweenle is Wordle in alphabetical order. So all the 5-letter words are arranged alphabetically in this configuration. And when you make a guess, which will start from the bottom here, we'll start with wafer, because it's more likely the word we're trying to guess is somewhere in the middle of the dictionary. We have a chance to input all of these words. Yeah, so it's quite near the top is the word that we're looking for. If you arranged all the 5-letter words alphabetically, it'll be 16% of the way through the dictionary from the top, and 78% between the word we're trying to guess and the word wafer. So we can safely put in the rest of these and not limit our results too much. So try and use all the hashtag words just to make this a bit harder. So polar, moral, named. Polar, we have to do named first, and moral. Okay, and then we can start playing. So this is just to make it a little bit harder. So we're probably looking for something around E. So let's try early. Okay, still a fair amount further forward. Let's go to like, is there something to even earlier in D? Dance. No, let's just go with dance. Okay, so maybe in C's. Let's try like clear, somewhere in middle C. Yeah, okay, very close now. Maybe climb. Still a bit further down. You go cling, but I think that's still a bit too close to climb. I think we're still going further. Clips. It's not going to end in an S. It's not going to be plural. Okay, after CLI. Maybe close. Oh, very, very close. Is there anything CLOS? Cloche, I think is a word. I think that's the like dish you put over a plate of food to keep it warm. But that's too close. I think that's going to be the next alphabetically. So there's nothing else there. So we want to go the word after that. It's probably going to be cloth. Cloth is probably it. Nice. So then we'll use that as our starting word for Wordle. Okay. So we play Wordle on hard mode. We have to now use T and H, and the O has to be in the third position always. Otherwise, it's going to complain that we're not abiding by the hard mode rules. So maybe like those. Okay, so T has to be at the end. The S has to be at the start. So it's got to be shoot, right? Is there any other word? Short. Shoot. No. Shout. Shout is an option as well. So shout, short, and shoot. So anything else? What are we going to go with? What's going to be the hardest to guess out of those? Probably shoot. Oh. Let's try shoot first. And then shout, I'm going to go for. Nice. Okay, you can close those three. Travel. Ireland to North Macedonia. So UK. We're trying to go this fewest border crossings. To France. Then do we want to go Germany, Poland? We probably don't. We probably want to go Italy now. And then I don't think we can go to Croatia just yet. I think we need Slovenia first. And then Croatia. If you get the correct order, it's you can get a perfect game if you do the shortest number of border crossings in the correct order. So Croatia to North Macedonia is... I should know this one. Begins with M, doesn't it? Is it Montenegro? I think. No! I always missed that. It's not Serbia now, is it? That's the other side. Albania's lower down. Isn't it? Yeah, I think Albania's below Macedonia. I might be wrong there. So Serbia. Bosnia, I think, is further inland, isn't it? What else is on the coast? Maybe we try Serbia. I don't think that's right, though. Is there another M that I'm missing? Montenegro we just guessed. Oh, which one is it? I'm fairly certain Albania's lower down. So I know Serbia's quite big. Yeah, okay. What's this one though? What's the one that we missed? Oh, Albania is there. Okay. Serbia's quite a good country after Croatia to get most places. Borders a lot of these other bigger countries as well. And even Hungary from Slovenia. Not too bad. What do we get? We've got one extra, I think. Yeah, one extra guess. Right, connections. 4 groups of 4. Oh, that's quite good. So, looking for 4 groups of 4 here that are themed together. So, designer, engineer, hatch, tag, Galileo, Marco Polo, mastermind, Viking, bingo, pioneer, luxury, concoct, port, Voyager, Uno, and high end. So designer, luxury, high-end, and hort. I think we got space vehicles of some kind, like the Voyager probe and the Pioneer. I feel like Viking and Galileo. I don't know where Marco Polo is coming in here. Okay, we'll make this guess. This should be... Yeah, is it the Galileo? Hatch, engineer, tag, concoct, mastermind. So what are the other groups though? I think Bingo, Uno, Mastermind, and Tag are all games. But what does Marco Polo fit into? Oh no, Marco Polo's a game, isn't it? So then Concoct, Engineer, Mastermind, and Hatch is to like dream up, to design. So yeah, that works. Nice. So Bingo, Marco Polo, Uno, Tag are all types of games. Games where you say the game's name. Oh, right, okay. Hatch, Mastermind, Engineer to design. Or devise, fair enough. Nice. Right, Mini will come back to you last. Let's do the word salad next. So this is like a word search when it loads. You have a grid of tiles and you connect them up to form words that fit the theme. Meet's back on the menu. So we've got, you can go in any direction as well. You can like cross over yourself, which I'm failing to show an example of, like this. So that's allowed as well. So obviously we've got pork here. Can we get butcher? No. Goat. We're getting the Lord of the Rings quote going on there. We got duck. I think I can see turkey. So we've got two left. And one of them is a 2-word phrase. I can see that now. It's a hot dog. And we're left with a burger. Nice and easy today. So sometimes this takes me like almost a full 10 minutes to do. Strands. So similar kind of idea, except you can't cross over yourself in this. So, I've never seen it used. You can do it. The program allows you to do crossing over, but I've never seen an answer that includes that crossing over yourself. But basically we're looking for 7 words in this grid that relate to the theme, cool color, and one of these words is like an overarching theme describer, which is called the spangram. Has to go from one side of the grid to the other, as in it has to touch both sides of the grid. It doesn't have to start or end on the letter that touches the edge of the grid. And the spangram can be, I think it can only be 2 words max, but maybe 3 words. So cool color. Azure. Okay, they're all going to be blue colors. Cobalts. So now that we've got words going all the way across the top of the grid, we know the spangram has to go from left to right. And we've probably got blue something. I'd imagine blue is part of the spangram. So Probably something blues. What other blues do we have? Do we have turquoise here? Turquoise. Yep. What's this one? Indigo? Yeah, indigo. So we've probably got... Do we have violet somewhere? No. Purple would be too far off. That's got to be blues here. So something blues. Is it the blues? Yeah. And then we get navy. And this is one more word. Periwinkle. Nice. That wasn't too bad. And then mini crosswords finish. Tree whose one down was used to make canoes and wigwams. White and papery on a one across. Trees whose trunk, bark? Maybe it's bark? White and papery. I want to say birch, but not sure. Luxury brand from Honda. Luxury brand. Become ready to eat. Not sold on any of this at the moment. Workers' bread dough is need, so that ties in bark a little bit more. Really outstanding finds, so to speak. Gems, maybe? We'll see. Yeah, because this will be icing. Unit of currency is the rupee, which works. Whip stuff on top of a mocha latte is maybe cream. One's working around the clock. Okay, maybe that's ripen. Maybe that's need with an A. One's working... Oh, hands. There we go. Hands that work around the clock. Very good. Right. Back to our game dev stuff. So I think having a plan of what messages are being sent back and forwards is probably the next thing to do. I'm still leaving this bit because I'm not sure what happens here just yet. So we'll go with this a bit more. So I think what's going to be the best way to represent this is duplicate this, bring it over. And let's actually, is this all grouped together? No, not yet. So let's cut this and put this outside on its own. We'll group all of this, and we're going to call this our game architecture. And then this is going to be the start of our... What's going to be the correct term for this? I don't know what we're going to call this yet. But this is going to be... no, not what I wanted to do. Client... Actually, let's call this host client. So this is going to be the one that sets up the lobby. Lobby setup. Then we're going to have the server in the middle. And then on the opposite side, we're going to have our, let's call this guest client. And let's call this player 2. Do we want to call this player 1? Lobby setup. Just for an example. Yeah, let's call this player 1. Oh. Right, and then we'll do a timeline going down. Let's have these all aligned. And let's do equal spacing. Kind of want to unframe this for the moment. Ungroup, there we go. Okay, so host client goes down. So configures lobby, and then this has to send game request request to server. Actually, let's just say this is game request. We can use arrows to indicate. I think what we want to do is enclose this. So if we copy one of these, I was hoping to move it there, not resize it, but that's fine. So let's wrap the server. We need a bit more space, don't we? And then we're gonna duplicate this. Control C, Control V around here, maybe. No. Can we align this? Okay, what color is the host going to be? Maybe this blue? And then our remote. Let's do... Yeah, like that. That's all right. So we need a bit more space here. Let's group this. And let's group this. And then these three. We're going to do our grid layout, center align everything, add way more space in between, maybe even a bit more. Let's do 700. Okay, and then probably what's going to happen is we need to make these a lot longer. Which, if I select that, and that, go all the way down. Okay, good setup. Why can I not? I can't click on the game request. Because it's not in that group. Okay. Let's put this above. And then we'll group these as well. Okay, so first thing is, I think what I might do as well is make these font sizes a bit smaller. Is probably okay there. Okay, so host configures the lobby. Then they send off a game request. And we want an arrow to show direction. Let's do this like 6. Yep. I'm wondering if we need to color code these. Let's just do it in yellow so that it's nice and easy to see. Get there eventually. Okay. Then in our server, no, not what we want. Okay, this creates game room. Then we're going to fetch player 1 elo or rating. I think if we break this all down, it's going to be a lot of game design stuff today, I think. I want to get a really good idea of what the full process is going to be before we start coding. So yeah, we do a game request to the server. We need to look up the player that's requesting the game, find their ranking. We do a check for current rooms. Ooh, actually, we don't even have to create a game room here. Because the first thing we should do is check for matching game rooms first. Let's duplicate that. Because if someone sets up a game room that has the same configuration as one that's already looking for a player, check for matching game room or matching lobbies, let's call this. In which case we need the ranking first though. So if no matching lobby, we'll create a game room. If there is a matching lobby, we just hook them up to player 2, whoever has their lobby already set up. If not, then we create our game room with the rules. And then after the game room is created, we need to broadcast I meant to duplicate that, not remove it entirely. Wait, is that arrow? That arrow is both of the arrows. That's so weird. How's it done that? I've never seen that before. It's got like both arrows as part of one item. I can't break it down any further. Odd. Okay, so broadcast, game data, lobby data. And at the same time it needs to send... I think I need to split this up because this is going to be confusing otherwise. There we go, okay. So in line with this one, we want to flip this 180. And this is room details. Room info, maybe. Goes back to player one. Broadcast room, I'm going to say, rather than lobby. Maybe we also give this a token. So we only want to have 2 people being able to connect to a game room. So we've got to limit that somehow, which probably have to do with tokens. Now actually, this is probably not even broadcasting room. This is probably instead add game room to rooms list, because we don't want to have to send individual broadcasts to every single potential player. So around here, we might even do a check here with our create game room. And actually that'll be a way that we could save ourselves on issues if even in like a odd case you get loads of requests for servers, requests for game rooms. We can limit the creation of game rooms and we just do like a wait queue. That'd be a good way for like balancing traffic. That's fine. So player 2 helps if I select the right piece to move. So maybe we request room lists. And we're going to return some kind of like filtered list. So there's an option here on this room list request. We could have like queries on this so that if you're looking for a certain player to play against, you might be able to query it. Queryable? Is that a word? Not queryable. Let's put query parameters here just as a reminder that this should be something that we can add queries to. And then this will be a filtered room list that matches the queries. Right, and then the host can start drafting units. No, placing units. Place units. And then when it's confirmed, we want to send our unit placements. This is kind of separate though, isn't it? How do I show that this is a different timeline? Doesn't really matter what's happening here for this. Let's do different colors. Can I do like a light blue? Yep. So it's going to be select room, and then also above this we probably want to select query Yeah, query parameters, and for example, this is going to be like game mode, or game mode or game type. Let's just put game mode, etc. at the moment. It's a cop out, but that's what we need. So then we're selecting the room. So this is going to be room join request. Or maybe we also have a quick queue option, which will just add you into a room. That might be better. This will be if you want to search for a specific room. Let's add a different route here, then. Actually, just do room join request or quick join request. Let's select these two. We'll duplicate that. This is going to be a slightly different route though. So this needs a different color again. Maybe let's go green. So this whole route here needs to be, it's going to be such a nightmare. Keep on clicking on this background object, which is the whole frame. Maybe let's unframe it for the moment, and then we don't have to worry about that. No, it's still grouped. Okay, that should be a bit easier. Can I just do this? Does that select the arrows as well? Yes, good. Alright, let's bring these down a little bit. Bring these down a little bit. And then, oh, right, I want to duplicate them. Did that duplicate? Yeah. So when we get this, we fetch player 2 ranking, check for matching lobbies, or on a quick join request. Sorry, that needs to go at the top here with the room list request. So those are two different options from here. So on either of these, once we've matched, we want to bring this. Room info and token goes back to player 2. And then at this point, we've got both players in the same lobby, right? Let's move these down quite a bit, just so that that's a bit more obvious. This can happen anywhere. So let's say we're placing units in between these, that's fine. Now you start placing units as well. I'll line them all up after, that's fine. So duplicate you. Send back unit placements. Oh. Don't want to reverse you. You can be the same. Right now, what does this do? So actually, as soon as we create the game room, we can create our map data. Is it map data? Map state. Because we're gonna know from the game request what map has been selected for the lobby and all the data that we need for that. Actually, let's move all of this down a little bit as well. No. I'm going to select all of these, and then this, 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 and this. Maybe let's color code this. Based on no, we can section this up after, that's fine. Let's just put it all in and then we have a good idea of what we're doing. So then this is going to update the map state with player 1 placements. We probably want to verify layer 1 placements. And then we want to acknowledge the placements. The way around. And this will be player 2 placements. Probably going into a bit too much detail for the stage we're at of building this, but I actually quite think this is going to be useful for when we're actually putting stuff together. Ooh, I just thought there is also an option of having, because it's turn-based, we could have all of the players' movements, like both players' movements, play out at the same time. So they basically, both players send orders of what to do. And then both players' turns are played out at the same time against each other. The only issue with that is you'd have to have a strict order. So it would be like the players scout, scout action is played out, then the player's movement action is played out, and then the player's attack action is played out. So then you kind of are like predicting, you have to predict where the attack goes. Oh, I quite like the idea of that. I like that, and also that's quite easy to play about with. We could set it so it does happen and set it so it doesn't happen. Let me make a note. The players' turns could play out together simultaneously. There we go. I have to say words slower so that I can spell them correctly. I quite like the idea of that. That could be really fun. So like on your turn, let's say it's the version where you do all 3 types of actions on one turn. You choose a unit and scout from its location. Actually, the scout movement can be whatever way around. The only thing we've got to avoid is having an attack where a player does an attack, but another unit is moving at the same time. And I guess the same for the scouting. If we scout an area, but a unit is being moved between areas, like on the border of that area that we're viewing, God, there's so many different variations here. I think there's a lot of different game modes we could do that could be really fun. But either way, actually, this doesn't matter. So, because all that's going to happen is we're going to send action commands up to the server from the player, and the server's going to respond with results. So, determine player order. And then this will be on both sides. Player order. Do we want to do that? Yeah, I think we can send this to both players now. And actually this then... Determine player order. We want to send down a message when it's their turn. So actually we want to send down filtered map data. So this will basically say, okay, we've now got all the unit placements from both sides. We can send on to both players the current state of the board that they would be able to see based on where their units are placed. So actually our map state needs to determine visibility for two different directions, which is easy enough to do, that's fine. I think we also send down like current player token. Oh. So if it's that player's turn to play, current player token, and this could be encoded with like the current round. so that if for some reason the if a client resends a data packet, we don't want to replay the previous move, so we need some kind of like round tracking as well. Encode. No, I keep on getting all these shortcuts when you just want to type into a text field. Encode current round tracking. Let's just do that. So let's call this current round and player token. So then, what's this? Take actions. Same on both sides. Then we need to send up here. Just player action. Let's set it player to action. Right, and then the server needs to verify action validity, let's say. Validity. And then calculate results. I hate the slight lag on this. I'm typing and there's a slight delay in it coming through, so it makes it so much harder to type things accurately. So actually there's a back and forth potential there, which is if it's invalid, we'd have to send a request back down to the client to say invalid move. But those specific details we can hash out a bit later. That's fine. I don't need to be that specific right now. And then we want to do send results. And that's it, I think. I think each side would then have to like play out results. Play out results. And then it would repeat. And we don't need to change for like an ending condition because calculate results would be including the ending condition. So maybe what we do is we just take like, we take one of these rectangles. I just want that. Copy that, paste it here. And we take all of this. Let's group that. And put it above this. Is that how that works this way around? Yeah, cool. So what I want to do is just like block out the different phases of the game. Let's give this some other color. We might have to pick a new color actually. Where's our color palette? There it is. Maybe something like this. Let's do it like a 30%. No, don't know that. 70%. I think if it comes internal to this. So there's like different phases here. That's what I'm trying to represent. So once the game phase goes into play, this is lobby setup. Which goes in between these two, which I want to get like there. So this is all room creation and lobby setup. And this is the actual game play bit. Okay, quite happy with that. I think that's a good pause point. I'm going to go and get a coffee and have a stretch. Please do too. Don't sit. Try not to sit at a monitor for too long. What can we put on? We'd run the game. Just have some little animations going. I think that's a good point. I think a lot of the design work is done now. I mean, there's obviously loads more to do, but this should give us a good starting point. So let's just put some units on. Just like to leave something moving so that people know that the stream hasn't frozen. Do we do? I think I'm going to do this. Right. Back in a few minutes. See you in a sec. Right. Let's clear that off. That's fine. Okay, so I feel like the design's going well. It seems to be not overly complex. And I'm hoping that a lot of these messages can be very small. I guess technically this acknowledged placements can be instead of the filtered map state at the start. Yeah, so we don't need these. Let's see what we can trim down, because the main thing will be if we need to have an authoritative server in the middle of this game, which I think we need to do, then minimizing the amount of traffic, the bandwidth that goes in and out of that server is going to be what saves us operating costs. And also means that hopefully lag will be like non-existent, because this should be like 1 or 2 strings at most of data in each message. Yeah, I think that's all we need. Because the way that ends up then, game request is probably the biggest setup. But we could also encode that quite well. Unit placements is basically a string per cell. Actually, that could be sent as a single string of data. Because if we're going to use the placements based on rows and columns of a grid, then this unit placement message could be just a list of cells with a corresponding value, which we can serialize into one single message. So I wonder if the easiest thing to do would be could we set up scenes, one for the server, one for, I assume we can do separate windows, so we could have our server, our player 1 and our player 2 all on one screen. And that way we could do a lot of the testing of this. Let's see, Godot, open new window. That's 5 years ago. I just noticed that question's old. It's been updated. No. Base class for all Windows dialogs and pop-ups, and know that creates a window. The window can either be a native sister window or embedded inside another window. At runtimes, windows will not close automatically when requested. You need to handle it manually using the close requested signal. This applies to both pressing the close button and clicking outside the pop-up. Okay, so it looks like we have an option to do multiple windows as well, which will help a lot with the testing. This stuff we still need to figure out. The problem now is I've got enough that I can get on with and actually start coding into the engine, but just need the motivation to just tackle a bit. Maybe we work on like the shell of this kind of setup. We kind of want to minimize the workload on the server as well. Which is fine because the server won't need to render a board at all. It will do it all based in code. So the server's not going to have, it's just going to have like a base node. I mean, I guess the server doesn't even need to be using Godot. We could just run some script on the back end. That's probably what we should be doing, actually, thinking about it properly. I feel like wait, let's close everything. Let's get a fresh look. Let's close all of this stuff. Let's clear this. Okay, so I feel like we just want a base node here. Hey, wait, what? Oh wow, okay. So have we already got built-in stuff here? Can I look at docs for this? That's interesting to know. HTTP request, where's the docs? Okay. Right, this is a whole load of streams worth of content is to read through and figure out what we're going to do with this. I kind of want to do everything on stream because I want to show how much detail you need to go into for some of the development. So let's queue up one of our next game dev streams to start looking into all of this stuff. Make a note as well for that. HTTP request stream Godot docs. So that'll be a whole. That's at least a string's worth of information here. Having a look at all of this. This album on Stream Beats is just too intense for for these kind of streams. I feel like I'm always skipping on that album. I think it's good, like I said before, for like events and like hype. But for programming, it's a bit too tense. Okay. So what do we want to do then? I kind of feel like I need to get started on this kind of structure. Maybe we just start building it out in Godot first, and then we can migrate that code off to a server when we do more more digging into that. So maybe what we do is we set up a client play scene. And I mean, we've already got that, haven't we? Let's discard this. Don't save. So in our scenes, this is basically our client play scene. And what we've got in our scripts here. I think we use this as like a signal bus for the play. So this like client transceiver section is the overarching script on the play scene. What we'll need here is signals for receiving results. So receive action results. And do we need one for sending? Signal send action. These are both going to have variables on them, which are both just going to be strings. Is that how you do it in Godot? Let me just double check in our scripts. Where have we got like an event bus? No, these are parameter names that we need to put in. So action string, or is this really going to be a serialized action? And this is serialized results. I don't know if I like that. I feel like instead we need just an empty script. And then we can attach it as a scene. Rather than attach the script to the actual play scene, I think we bring it in as a component. I think that's better. So can we do like just an empty node with a script on it? And what are we going to call this? We're going to call this our client transceiver. Let's go with that for the moment. We'll call this client transceiver. Transceiver. Save it. This project's just got suddenly got about 70 times more difficult, more complicated. Okay, so this is where we want those two signals that we just had. Let's cut that there. Probably not going to want either of those, but that's fine. Oh no, we need the ready function, won't we? We're definitely not going to need a process function. So this is going to be on the client. So I think what this is going to do is probably, we're probably going to have to group up actions, because we don't want the play scene to have to deal with like grouping up or managing actions. So this can send up action data. This is fine. And we're going to pass back down results data. Let's just call it that for the moment. It's going to have to change around. So then we want send action.connect handle action. We're going to have a function called handle action. And we'll just pass for the moment. And receive action results. Handle results. function, handle results. Quite heavy again. Let me skip. Okay. And this pass can go because we're actually doing something. So I think we're gonna take in it's gonna be a string. I think this is going to be a dictionary of some kind. Or an array. It's probably going to be a dictionary though. Action data of type. Can I do type or dictionary? That's not going to work, is it? So can I make a class? Can I do a type declaration? How does that work? Type declaration. GD script. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this might be what we need. So if we do a new script, which is our action type. Action data type. Let's try that. And what do? You do extends node. You do a class name above. So class name, action. Don't have processes on it. We just want a constants. No, variables. So variables, source cell, which is going to be a type of vector 2i, a bar, action type, which is going to be of type action list, enum, action could be capitals, scout, move, attack. What am I doing wrong? How was I doing enums before? Lobby? No. Map? No, game state. It's in game state. Current state of type game phase, and game phase is an enum. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So like that. And then this is action list. Let's just call this actions. And then var destination, which we're going to do a vector 2i as well. I guess we could pass in the unit type as well, but that's not necessary, because both the server and the client know where all the units are. So if you send source cell information, which unit is making the action type, and the destination cell of that action, let's call this target cell rather than destination cell. So if it's a move action, the target cell is where they want to move to. If it's a scout action, the target cell is where they want to center the scout action. And if it's an attack action, this is the cell they want to attack. I think that makes sense. So if we save that and then go here, an action data of type action. And then can we do action dot what ones do we have? Action dot action type dot source cell. Why can I not access these? Do I need to set these up as like getters and setters? No, wait, do I need to do these as like resources? That was the other thing I needed to look into. Yeah, I don't think we want this actually. No, okay. I don't think this is what we want to do. I think we want to do a resource, but I don't know how to do that yet. Could start looking into that. Nodes and resources. Loading resources from code. Back to that album again. Sorry, and skip. Creating your own resources. Yeah, I think this is this looks like the track of what I want to do. Yeah, okay. So I kind of want to start playing around with this by the looks of it. But how much time have we got? Not got really enough time to get into this at the moment. So what else could we do now? Let's get rid of these because I think they're just going to cause confusion. So script client transceiver, that goes. Action data type, that's going to go. This client transceiver is going to go. We don't save that. Okay, instead of all of that, maybe we have a look at making a map move function. So like a unit move function. And also we're doing this the wrong way around. So at the moment, when we're generating units, when we click on a cell, we're picking the unit based on these packed scene arrays. Sorry, an array of a packed scene, which actually all these units should be the same. But they just have different sprites. So can we do it instead where our unit has the sprite on it that's empty? Let's see if we can do that. Okay, so in our unit, we're going to add a node of animated sprite. But we're not going to give it the animation frames. So let's see if we can figure out how this works. So when we spawn, can we do like export? What's the type of this? Animated Sprite 2D. Sprite frames resource. So what do we say, like sprite frames? Of type sprite frame. Sprite frame frames something. Plus sprite frames. I feel like we need to tidy up some of this, but that's okay. Godot set sprite encode at instantiate. I want to create a lot of objects from a 2D class, and each has an individual sprite that never needs to be changed, not changed between each other. 9 different sprites. Later they change their color. That's all they do. So maybe we don't even need this, do we? Unexpected identifier in body class. Do we need to say var? So now in our map, rather than this array packed scene, export var units. Let's say unit button, type button. Can we not assign our unit scene? If we put that in here, and then Godot clone node. Yeah, let's put in. I kind of want to just go into like the actual docs here. Maybe this one. Or is it going to be duplicate? No, it's probably going to be duplicate, isn't it? So what we say var new unit equals unit button duplicate. How do we use you? Lookup symbol. Node duplicate. Duplicate's a node containing a new node with all of its property signals and groups copied from the original. The behavior can be tweaked through the flags. See duplicate flags. For nodes with the script attached, if object init has been defined with required parameters, the duplicate node will not have a script. Duplicate the node's signal connections. Duplicate using packscene instantiate. If the node comes from a scene saved on disk, reuses packscene instantiate as the base for the duplicated node and its children. Don't know what's better to use that. Might need to look into that in a bit of detail, but let's just try this. So then can we do like new unit dot unit, what's it going to be called? Sprite frames. Oh, he's called unit. Okay, let's do that instead. That's even better. This is not a button, this is a unit. How do we get this field? Sure, this is just called sprite underscore frames, isn't it? Yeah. What if we did like a function set sprite print set sprite and let's do string for the moment, or let's just do index, and this takes in an index which is an int. Can I access that function? Unit dot set will that work at all? Set sprite index 1. It's probably going to break, isn't it? Let's see what happens. Might have to wrap up pretty soon, unfortunately. Set sprite 1. Okay, that's good. Let's just confirm that this is what's driving that. Should be. Set sprite 3. Yeah, cool. Okay. So if from here we can load our assets, how do we get those? Just like that, okay. So in here, let's just do that. Let's see if that works. Let's just do string is not a type. Okay. How do we say? How do we pass this in? Like that. Okay. Ooh, that looks like it's accepting that. So could we do this? Got loads of really hype music on today. So what if instead of that, we have sprite frames here. Sprite frame. And then in our map, can we do like a sprite list. Wonder if it's going to let us do something like this. It's probably not, but and this should be infantry, not knight. No, this should be the bush. Okay, we get rid of that. And we do that. And then when we set sprite here, we pass in sprite list. Let's do 2. So that should send in the mushroom. Let's restart. Let's see what happens with this. We're just playing around at the moment. See what works. So we've only going to add in infantry units. Invalid assignment of property or key sprite frames. With the value of type sprite frame on a base object of type nil. Okay. It's not how we do this. But I bet it's not too far off. What we do like const infantry. See sprite infantry sprite frames equals preload this. And can we do that? Okay, so let's try bush, mushroom, bush and mushroom. No idea if this is going to work either, but it's worth testing. Bush and mushroom. Let's do that on a new line. Can we give these a sprite frame? Type. want to get rid of that now. Let's rebuild this and see what happens. So hopefully, no, it still doesn't like it. Invalid assignment of property or key sprite. So this, it's just getting a weird string passed in. Can I just do like load this? Let's see if that works for a start. So it might be that I'm not able to pass. No. Let's search for animated sprite 2D. And let's have a look at the methods on this. That's not an animation, is it? Okay, UD script, load sprite frame. Sprite frame. Get resource, okay. No, that's not right either. Let's see what this load does. Returns a resource from the file system located at path. Set sprite frames. Oh, wait, maybe I'm doing that wrong. Is it just literally set sprite frames? Is that an actual option? Maybe that's what we needed to do. Let's rebuild and see. This will be good if we can get this working as well, because that tidies up the unit scene. No. Can't call method set sprite frames on a null value. How is this a null value? Okay, I'm unfortunately out of time. Gonna have to come back to this and figure out what to do next time. Which is, when's next? For game dev. I think tomorrow I'm going to be doing some more pixel art. We're going to try and finish off the castle scene that we've been working on. So that'll be good to finish off. So I think it's Thursday is the next game dev stream, and hopefully, actually I should be able to do a bit of a longer stream then. So probably about 2 o'clock-ish on Thursday. That's GMT. So it's about, well, it's about this time to start. About an hour earlier than now on Thursday. So, quick recap. What have we done today? We've planned out a bit of our server to client signal transmission, communication, whatever, whatever this is. Basically, the messages, how the messages are going to be passed between the server and the clients. And we did a bit of work on trying to load these scripts. So we're going to try and replace this unit with, rather than this array of pack scenes, so we've got like 3 versions of the unit, 1 for each type of sprite. Obviously that doesn't work as we scale up types of units. We don't really want to have an array of all the different units all here, especially if the only thing that's going to differ is what sprite is loaded onto it. So yeah, not loads of progress with that, but that's fine. We did a bit of research into that we're going to have to look into this HTTP client for all our networking side of things, and B, into resourcing and wherever that file was. Yeah, loading resources and working with resources. So it's a bit of a shorter stream today, but Thanks everyone who's been lurking and chatting. Hope it's been interesting. I know it's probably going to be quite slow progress at the moment while we're still doing design stuff. And while we're still doing research, it's definitely going to be slow progress. But hopefully we'll keep on plodding along and see how it goes. Thanks everyone. Hope you have a good week. And I'll catch you next time. Cheers.